Hey guys, it's Dave again, back again for another video. What's today's video? Well, we're doing another episode recap of Star Trek Discovery, Season 3, Episode 3. Okay? So if you haven't seen this episode yet, guys, spoiler alert. Once again, this is a spoiler alert. I'm going to be discussing things that happened throughout the episode of Season 3 of Episode 3 of Star Trek Discovery. So if you've not seen it, this is the part where you're going to pause this video and come back to it after you've watched the episode, guys. Okay? With that being said, once again, this is a spoiler alert. Stop this video if you haven't watched episode 3, season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. If not, let's keep going, okay? So, we finally see Michael Burnham come face to face with her crew that's been missing. Well, it seems that the time that has passed has actually been 1 year. So she's pretty much she's been leading a whole different life. Now, she's been working as a dilithium courier, going from place to place, trying to get as much information and also trying to see if she could find Discovery. Well, she did at the end of the last episode. So their reunion is a little off centered, so to speak. Okay? For Discovery, it's only been maybe a couple days since they saw her. For her, it's been a whole year. She's changed. She's had to make compromises, obviously. Now, we're not told specific things, but obviously, throughout the course of the episode, her interactions with Saru and even Giorgio, uh, the former Terran Emperor, or Empress, I should say, she's obviously learned things. She's had to adapt. She's a bit more flexible when it comes to morals or making decisions or taking actions. This is a different Michael. Okay, her and Tilly are trying to pick up where they used to be, being best friends, and obviously it's a little bit touch and go at first. Even Saru, wants to have a discussion with Michael. Michael's like, no, we're not having that discussion. The discussion about who's going to command Discovery. She says, no, it's you. So Saru is now Captain Saru of the Discovery. Also, she introduces the crew to her friend, Booker Cleveland. Now, he's a little like, well, what's this all about? And he's not exactly a Federation type. Well, throughout the course of this episode, they do get to Earth, except it's not the Earth that they knew. There is no longer a Federation or a Starfleet at Earth. Earth is now under the United Earth Confederation, if you will, or security agency. Basically, Earth has threw their hands up in the air and says, "We want nothing to do with everything that's out there. We're protecting ourselves. We've made ourselves self-sufficient." Completely. I mean, well, it's been 930 years, so obviously a lot's happened, especially with the dilithium issue. Uh, at this very same time, there's a dilithium pirate or hoarder that is trying to attack Earth at the same time, and Discovery is the thing standing in between the path of that. Well, thanks to some quick thinking and without verifying with anyone, Michael and Book decide to take matters into their own hands and they actually capture the enemy captain. Turns out that this enemy captain, this person in charge, is actually a good person. Titan, which is one of the moons in that solar system, in our solar system, I believe it's one of the moons of Mars. I could be wrong, but Titan basically is an Earth colony that has fallen on much hard times, and that's all that they really wanted. They wanted assistance. So Michael and Saru hope to kind of come to a mutual decision to get both parties to help each other. Titans people to provide all the research that they've been working on for decades, and Earth is going to try to assist them with all their needs so they can be self sufficient once again. Once again, this future is an uncertain future. I definitely get the vibe that this is going to be kind of trying to piece together the Federation. I still think it's going to give the vibe of like if you've watched these episodes before, or these episodes, I should say, of the recaps, you've heard me talk about Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda, about a fallen commonwealth that is being trying to be rebuilt by one ship and one captain. So I definitely think that's the way that they're going to go with a lot of this. But with having the time displacement, having Michael Burnham be here for a year, she's had to adapt and she's learned a lot more as far as she's going to have a lot more intel. This is a very good way for her to have knowledge that the rest of the crew doesn't. Maybe she knows about more about how the Orion Syndicate operates now, or the Exchange, or are there any factions? We have yet to see a Klingon. We have yet to find out about Vulcans. It's 900 years in the future. Have the Vulcan people and the Romulans have they had a reunification, which was a dream back in the Next Generation days? Spock was living on Romulus, trying to bring about reunification. Of course, we know from the Picard series that Romulans they lost their world and they're kind of scattered along different parts of the Federation. So here's the question: how are the Romulans now? Are they more roguish? Are they more like the Klingons? Where are the Klingons? You know, what about the Jem'Hadar? Are they going to make an appearance? Are the Founders still around? These are all questions that we have, and we want to know what's going on. Um, is there maybe a bigger faction? Maybe could there be factions of the Federation that are more Section 31 than anything else? That they're very black ops? Maybe when the Federation and all the burn happens, maybe parts of the Federation kind of broke off and decided to go their own ways. We'll see what happens, you know. And one thing that kind of rubbed me a little weird was, okay, the exchange, this big kind of like black markets. Okay, you have stuff, I need this stuff. Where were the Ferengi for this? Where were the Ferengi? I know that the Ferengi relied on ships, and there's a famous line that the Ferengis, once they discovered dilithium, they became thugs and became powerful. Where are they in all of this? We want to know where all these species are. We know that there's a Trill. There's a young Earth security officer who was joined with a Trill, and she has all this knowledge. So that's going to be very interesting to see where things go. The only other time we've ever heard of a human joining with the Trill was then Commander William T. Riker back on the Next Generation on the Enterprise D. So it'd be very interesting to see what else happens with this. So, in a way, this almost felt like kind of a filler episode. The writing, I mean, it didn't have the energy of the very first episode of the season. The previous week's episode had a bit more intrigue, a bit more action, a bit more substance to the story, a bit more possibility. This one was more like, okay, Michael's this different person. She has different tactics, which maybe aren't up there with Saru. Saru definitely is going to have to give her some space. She's even asked for time and space and understanding. And Saru's going to have to do that. He's going to have to give her a little leeway, very much how Captain Pike gave Saru leeway when Saru's ganglia, his fear ganglia, fell out, and he survived his, I think they called it the Vahara. When he emerged and he was more sure of himself, he even let what's his name? I apologize, guys. The one who was Volk, Tyler. When they let Tyler and what's his name fight last season, even Pike gave Saru a little leeway with such actions. He did kind of give him a little scolding, like, this is not going to be happening again. But those are the kind of things we'll have to see. I mean, with Michael's been obviously she's maybe had to kill. She's had to make decisions, maybe even short some people. Maybe she had to steal things. Maybe she had to leave someone stranded. It kind of harks back to Captain Archer during the Enterprise run, Star Trek Enterprise. During the whole thing with the Zindi, he made decisions. He stranded people. He did what he had to do to get to the bottom of it. So maybe they're trying to take a little bit of Andromeda, a little bit of Enterprise, and kind of mix it around. We'll see what happens, guys. So those are all my thoughts, and I'm not going to do a scene by scene comparison of Discovery. You guys, if you watched it, you've seen it. Maybe you're picking up on some of the things that I've picked up on. Maybe you have some disagreements with some of the things that I mentioned during this video. If so, please leave it in the comments section below. If you like this video, you want to see more, subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. But those are my thoughts on Discovery Season 3, Episode 3 this week. We'll see what happens. And I hope everyone has a very safe Halloween. Excuse me. Itches and allergies, guys. I apologize. I hope everyone has a safe and sound Halloween. I will see you next week when, obviously, daylight savings this weekend. And also, we're beginning a new month. We're in the month of November. So, I'll see you then for the next video. And until next time, if you have thoughts, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you next time, guys. As always, keep on busting, and I'll catch you on the flip side.